Chrisean Rock allegedly falsified her DNA test on the Chrisean Love show with Blueface. Now Karlissa is here to show us the real results.
Karlissa didn't just drop a bomb today, she launched a full-blown nuclear warhead straight into the middle of Blueface and Chrisean's already chaotic universe. And the fallout is spreading faster than a Kardashian scandal on a slow news day. 1 minute the internet was minding its business. The next minute Karlissa came sprinting in like, "Everybody gather round. I have receipts," waving a verified DNA report like she just unlocked a final boss level in the Petty Olympics. And let's be honest, nobody competes with this woman when it comes to chaos choreography. The moment that screenshot hit social media, timelines exploded like the season finale of a reality show nobody admitted to watching, but everyone secretly streams at 2 a.m. the way people screamed, reposted, zoomed in, and started acting like courtroom analysts would make Judge Judy retire on the spot. And the best part? Chrisean saw that report and froze like a Wi-Fi router in the middle of a thunderstorm. Because this wasn't regular drama. This was the kind that knocks on your door holding a megaphone and a subpoena. If you thought last week was messy, buckle up. This leak didn't break the internet. It humiliated it. From the moment Karlissa clicked post, it felt like the universe paused, blinked twice, and whispered, "No way she just did that." Because this wasn't a typical celebrity tantrum or a midweek attention stunt. This was a verified DNA report, the digital equivalent of dropping the infinity gauntlet on the timeline. People sat up straighter. Group chats woke up from the dead. Even folks who pretend they don't care about Blueface's family drama were suddenly squinting at screenshots like forensic analysts. The energy was insane, and you could practically hear the internet gasp like it just walked in on its parents arguing. What made the moment even wilder was the confidence dripping from every screenshot Karlissa posted. She didn't post it like someone trying to prove a point. She posted it like someone who already won the argument and was now doing a victory lap with a marching band behind her. The tone was, "I tried to warn y'all, but since nobody listened, let me just shake the table myself." And oh, she didn't just shake it. She flipped it, lit it on fire, and dragged it across the timeline like a spoiled toddler in a supermarket. As soon as the report circulated, viewers zoomed in so far their phones started overheating. People were screenshotting the screenshot, editing the brightness, adjusting contrast, and analyzing fonts like they were uncovering a Da Vinci Code. You'd think this was a national investigation, not celebrity baby drama, but nothing motivates the internet quite like a DNA revelation with zero warning. Overnight, everyone became a certified paternity expert, even the people who barely passed science class. Meanwhile, Blueface was somewhere minding his business like a man who has seen enough plot twists for 5 lifetimes. Every time this man's name trends, he looks like he's aged 3 presidential terms. And this time, the trend wasn't funny Blueface clip or Blueface trolling someone. No, this trend was the kind that makes you reconsider every life choice that got you here. The kind that has you calling your lawyer before you even finish reading the post. Because a paternity scandal coming from your own mother. That's a level of chaos even Netflix hasn't figured out how to write. But let's talk about the real reaction the world was waiting for. Chrisean's. The moment that DNA screenshot went viral, the internet turned into a stadium crowd waiting for their favorite fighter to walk out. Everyone was refreshing her page like they were trying to win concert tickets. And when she finally saw the report, the silent meltdown was visible from space. She didn't need to post anything. The absence of a post was loud enough to echo through every platform. It was that my soul just left the group chat silence. Chrisean wasn't just shook. She was spiritually unplugged. You could practically see the emotional buffering wheel spinning above her head. Because when someone drops a verified DNA receipt, the whole narrative shifts instantly. 1 minute you're arguing with Blueface about who's wrong. The next minute Karlissa shows up like a supervillain holding the plot twist that changes the entire franchise. And the internet loves a franchise reboot. Now, the reality started boiling when people began comparing timelines, dates, locations, and every rumor ever whispered in a comment section. Suddenly, old clips resurfaced like lost relics. People dug up interviews, tweets, throwback posts, livestream clips. You'd think the timeline turned into a museum of unresolved drama. Every theory about JR's paternity was being dusted off, polished, and given a second chance at fame. And the craziest part, every theory suddenly looked possible when placed next to that bold, cold, unforgiving DNA report. Then came the reaction from fans who have been following this circus from the beginning. Half of them were shocked. The other half weren't even surprised. These are the people who saw the plot twist coming like a slow-motion car crash. They've watched the fights, the arguments, the livestream breakdowns, the random late-night rants, the mysterious timelines that never aligned. To them, this wasn't shocking. It was finally. The evidence arrived, and they celebrated like they just solved a decade-old crime case. But here's the real twist that sent shockwaves across every app. The report said verified. That word alone hit harder than a diss track. It wasn't alleged, suspected, rumored, or possibly. It was verified, a word so serious, so bold, so final. It felt like someone dropped a judge's gavel on the internet. Once you see that word, the debate becomes less opinion and more somebody lying, and nothing fuels the internet faster than the scent of a lie waiting to be exposed. People started tagging Blueface like he owed them answers personally. Fans demanded statements, explanations, and clarification like they were shareholders at a press conference. Blueface, however, looked like a man who walked into a room expecting peace and instead found his whole life on a projector screen. This man has been through scandals, breakups, arrests, and reality TV with explosions in every episode, but nothing hits like a paternity curveball thrown by your own mother. Meanwhile, Karlissa was posting like she just won a championship. You could feel her energy radiating off every sentence. The "I told you so" tone was so strong it could have powered a small city. She wasn't backing down. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't hesitating. She was pushing this narrative like she'd been waiting for the sequel for years. Because in her mind, this wasn't tea. This was justice. The funniest part is how quickly the public split into teams. Team Karlissa was cheering like their favorite player just scored the winning goal. Team Chrisean was scrambling like someone pulled the fire alarm during finals week. Team Blueface was just confused, exhausted, and pretending to meditate. And then there was the undisputed champion, Team Mess. The viewers who don't care who's right or wrong as long as the drama keeps dropping like episodes. As the screenshots kept spreading, new layers of confusion emerged. Some claimed the report looked legitimate. Others swore the formatting looked different from their cousin's friend's neighbor's test. Some selectively zoomed into fonts. Others became experts in watermark detection. The way the internet turned into CSI Baby Edition was hilarious and disturbing at the same time. No celebrity scandal has ever transformed this many people into amateur forensic scientists in under 24 hours, but deeper than the noise, the arguments, and the chaos, the core question began to rise. What happens now? Because once a verified DNA report enters the chat, you can't go back to the old storyline. You can't unpost it. You can't respin it. You can't slide it under a rug already overflowing with broken storylines. This leak changed the trajectory of every character involved. And that's exactly why the internet refuses to look away. The drama wasn't just big. It was historic. It was season finale cliffhanger that forces you to renew your subscription levels of insane. And just when people thought the chaos might simmer down, more comments started surfacing, more reactions started brewing, and more unexpected voices joined the conversation. Because a scandal this big doesn't stay contained, it spreads like wildfire. And everyone wants a piece of the smoke. The moment the DNA leak settled into the algorithm, social media transformed into a global stadium where every seat was filled, every popcorn bucket overflowing, and every viewer screaming like their team just fumbled a championship ball. Twitter turned into a battlefield of memes within minutes. People photoshopped Karlissa holding the DNA test like the Lion King baby. Others turned Chrisean into that shocked Pikachu face. And a few bold souls even edited Blueface onto a Mori stage yelling, "You are not the father." The creativity was disturbing, impressive, and incredibly disrespectful all at once, which is exactly the flavor the internet loves most. Then came the celebrity reactions, and they arrived with the speed and enthusiasm of influencers rushing to a brand deal. Tamar Braxton dropped a cryptic laughing emoji, which immediately sparked 1,000 conspiracy threads. Natalie Nunn went live looking like she just ran a marathon while trying not to say names, but the smirk on her face was louder than the audio. Even random rappers who haven't trended since 2018 suddenly popped up with opinions like they were professional genealogists. Every post felt like the world was passing around a microphone at the messiest family reunion ever recorded. And of course, Jason Lee jumped in because if there's drama, there's Jason. He didn't even give full opinions. He just posted one of those dramatic side-eye pictures that basically said, "Oh, this is my moment." The comment section inflated like a political debate. Except instead of policy arguments, people were fighting over timelines, birth dates, zodiac signs, and which rapper Chrisean was around 9 months before Junior popped out. It went from scandal to Scooby-Doo investigation in record time. The memes only got worse as the day progressed. Someone posted a video of Karlissa walking in slow motion while explosions played behind her, captioned, "When you drop receipts that could end a franchise." Another person created a fake movie poster titled, "Paternity Wars, the Karlissa Cut," featuring Blueface crying in the background like a rejected Marvel character. People online would rather die than miss a chance to turn pain into content. And this scandal delivered so much raw material they were practically drowning in inspiration. But the real chaos erupted when fans began comparing this drama to some of the wildest scandals in pop culture history. One viral tweet said, "This makes Tristan Thompson look like a responsible adult." Another one claimed, "Kanye interrupting Taylor was mild compared to this." Someone else wrote, "The Kardashians need to take notes because this is how you deliver a plot twist." Even Wendy Williams memes resurrected from the archives like she rose from the grave just to sip imaginary tea. The internet was unhinged, and the unhinged were thriving. Meanwhile, Chrisean's silence started getting louder than any diss track she's ever dropped. Fans kept refreshing her feed like they were performing CPR. Every 5 minutes someone commented, "Sis, blink twice if you're good," and others begged her to go live because they knew if she ever opened that camera, at least 3 phones would explode from the energy. But she didn't. Not a single word. Not a tear emoji. Not a subliminal. Not even a repost of a motivational quote. And the absence of a meltdown only made the world more suspicious. Some people swore she was planning a comeback so dramatic it would require multiple camera angles. Others believed she was in denial mode, internally screaming while scrolling back and forth between screenshots. A few die-hard fans insisted that she was unbothered, but even they typed with shaky fingers like they didn't believe their own words. Every minute she stayed silent, the tension rose like a pressure cooker ready to explode across every platform. Blueface, on the other hand, managed to post something completely unrelated, and that only made things worse. Nobody cared about whatever random flex he uploaded. People stormed his comments with questions like he was hosting a Q&A nobody signed up for. Explain the DNA test. Is Karlissa lying? Who's the daddy then? Blink if you scared. And of course, the classic, "Man, delete this and start over." His denial era and his confused era collided at high speed. And the timeline loved watching him get dragged like an escaped villain from ATLE and OVLA. At the same time, Karlissa was posting like an undefeated heavyweight champion. She sprinkled sarcasm so effortlessly it felt like a personal talent. Every post read like she was sipping imaginary wine, leaning back with a pen in her hand like, "Y'all thought I was playing." And the people who spent months calling her crazy, they suddenly shifted gears and started acting like she was the last honest citizen in Hollywood. That's the internet for you. Loyalty changes faster than hairstyles at Fashion Week. Eventually, Influencers, YouTubers, gossip pages, and even meme accounts with cartoon profile pictures joined the conversation. Everyone tried to explain the situation with complicated diagrams that looked like math problems you'd see on a college exam. Some influencers claimed they had inside sources. Others claimed they knew the truth all along. And a select group blamed Mercury retrograde. As if the planets conspired to expose Chrisean's entire storyline, a few spiritual pages even tried turning the drama into life lessons, posting things like, "This is why you must cleanse your energy from chaotic people." Meanwhile, someone in the comments replied, "Girl, shut up. We're here for the mess." The internet was not in a healing mood. They wanted popcorn, plot twists, and emotional damage, not peace and positivity. Then came the conspiracy era. And that's when things got truly insane. People started analyzing Blueface's old behavior, claiming the signs were always there. They dug up clips where he looked uncomfortable holding Junior, interviews where his voice cracked, and arguments where he acted confused. Suddenly, everything became foreshadowing, and fans started stitching clips together like they were directing a documentary. You would think Netflix hired the entire internet to produce a series overnight. But perhaps the wildest development was the reaction from other baby mamas, exes, cousins, and random associates who crawled out of hiding like background characters hoping for a speaking role. Some went live, some left cryptic comments. Some posted pictures of them minding their business, which is social media language for "I'm paying attention, but pretending I'm above it." Even people who haven't spoken to Blueface since high school chimed in, offering the world opinions nobody asked for. What really added gasoline to the fire was how quickly fans turned this scandal into a multi-layered saga. Every new post became a subplot. Every emoji became a secret code. Every live stream became an emergency press conference. Every celebrity reaction became a teaser trailer. People weren't just following a story, they were starring in it emotionally. The energy was giving season finale, courtroom drama, and Mother versus Mother showdown all rolled into one chaotic cinematic universe. And just when you thought the situation couldn't escalate further, a mysterious new rumor started circulating, one that hinted the DNA receipt might be part of something even bigger. Suddenly, fans began predicting future episodes like they were writers in a chaotic writer's room. Predictions ranged from custody battles to interviews to surprise witnesses. The only thing missing was theme music. Through all the noise, one truth became clear: the world wasn't going to drop this story anytime soon. This wasn't a normal scandal. This was a cultural event, a digital earthquake, a viral tsunami sweeping across every app. And the worst part? The aftermath hadn't even begun yet, when the chaos finally slowed enough for people to catch a breath. The real consequences began to crawl out from under the rubble like uninvited guests at the world's pettiest after-party. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. It had become a seismic shift in the entire Blueface Chrisean Karlissa ecosystem. Every storyline that people thought they understood suddenly felt outdated. Fans watched the drama with the same exhausted devotion people reserve for multi-season TV shows that refused to end. This DNA leak wasn't a plot twist. It was a reboot with new writers and a bigger budget. The first major consequence was emotional whiplash. Chrisean, who usually fires back faster than a malfunctioning boomerang, stayed silent so long that fans began crafting sympathy arcs for her. Some claimed she was heartbroken, others swore she was angry enough to throw furniture, and a bold few insisted she was strategizing the kind of comeback that would shake mountains. But regardless of the theory, it was clear that the leak hit her deep. Being publicly questioned about something as personal as your child is a level of emotional warfare that leaves bruises nobody can see. Blueface didn't get off easy either. His mentions were a disaster zone. Every time he opened his phone, another wave of chaos smacked him in the face like a digital frying pan. People demanded answers, but he avoided them like someone dodging a debt collector. He posted jokes, selfies, clips, anything that didn't involve DNA, and fans dragged him each time. You could practically feel the exhaustion leaking from his posts. This scandal didn't just eat his timeline. It gnawed at his reputation like a frustrated termite. Then came the interviews. Gossip pages flocked to anyone even remotely related to the situation. Old associates who barely knew the family suddenly emerged with insider details. YouTubers created hour-long breakdowns filled with dramatic music and exclusive tea that wasn't exclusive at all. Some even printed the DNA screenshot on t-shirts like they were selling tour merch. It was wild. The scandal became a franchise, and fans turned it into a sport. Every new angle, every rumor, every blurry screenshot became another piece in the puzzle. But the most fascinating fallout came from the general public, who suddenly became philosophers of morality, paternity, and loyalty. Debates erupted everywhere. Some argued Karlissa was doing too much. Others believed she was delivering long overdue truth bombs. Some empathized with Chrisean, pointing out how brutal public humiliation can be. Others said the leak was necessary for clarity. The digital streets were loud, opinionated, and absolutely addicted to the mess like teenagers binge-watching reality TV at 4 a.m. This emotional tug-of-war only intensified when fans realized the broader consequences. If the DNA report was accurate, the legal issues could be enormous. People started whispering about child support adjustments, custody reevaluations, and even potential lawsuits. Lawyers on TikTok created reaction videos explaining hypothetical outcomes like they were unpacking a thriller movie plot. Even actual attorneys chimed in, offering analysis that only added more suspense to a story already dripping with tension. On the personal level, though, the aftershocks were harsher. The trust between Blueface and Chrisean, already fragile, cracked deeper than ever. Every argument they had, every accusation from the past, every emotional explosion suddenly felt like foreshadowing. Their relationship had always been a roller coaster, but this twist turned it into a drop tower with broken safety belts. Fans wondered whether they could even recover from something like this, or if this was the final blow that pushed them past a point of no return. Karlissa, meanwhile, embraced the aftermath like a supervillain enjoying the chaos from her rooftop lair. She posted cryptic quotes, sarcastic jabs, and subtle confirmations that kept the flames burning. She wasn't celebrating, she was vindicated. Every "I told you" came with the force of years of brewing tension. Whether people loved her or hated her, they couldn't deny one thing: she knew exactly how to shake the internet awake. But as the dust settled, a strange thing happened. The world began questioning everything. If this major storyline could flip so dramatically, what else was never what it seemed? Fans began re-evaluating old fights, old clips, old timelines. They dissected every interview, every argument, every livestream where Blueface or Chrisean hinted at doubts. The narrative became a conspiracy labyrinth no one could escape. Every opinion spawned a counter-opinion, and a digital echo chamber transformed into a courtroom with no judge and no rules. The emotional stakes hit a peak when fans noticed Chrisean withdrawing from the spotlight. Her absence created a new wave of concern, anger, and speculation. People wondered whether she felt betrayed, embarrassed, or simply overwhelmed. This wasn't just drama, it was public heartbreak happening in slow motion. And heartbreak viewed by millions hits differently. It becomes performance art, tragedy, spectacle, and empathy all tangled together in one chaotic knot. Blueface, however, tried shifting the narrative by acting unbothered. But the internet doesn't forget. Every joke he cracked landed awkwardly. Every attempt at normal posting sank like a rock. This scandal wasn't a bruise that would fade. It was a stain that would follow him for years. Even if the truth eventually cleared him, the internet had already written its own version of the story. And public perception rarely aligns with reality once the memes take over. As for Karlissa, her boldness created a ripple effect she couldn't control. Supporters praised her honesty while critics accused her of destroying her own family. Friends became enemies, enemies became commentators, and the entire situation spiraled into a moral battlefield. She didn't just expose a truth, she exposed the brittle threads holding everything together. As the dust began to settle, one chilling idea floated across the internet. This wasn't the end. It wasn't even the climax. This was the midpoint of a saga filled with unanswered questions, looming disputes, and emotional landmines waiting to explode. Fans understood instantly that the next chapter would be even messier. Whether it would be a tearful confession, a courtroom showdown, a viral rant, or a shocking new reveal, everyone knew this story wasn't fading anytime soon. The aftermath wasn't calm. It was suspense disguised as silence, a quiet before another inevitable storm. And in that silence, every fan, hater, gossip page, and celebrity lurker stood frozen with one question echoing louder than all the drama that came before. And if you've made it this far into the chaos, congratulations! You officially survived another episode of the wildest reality show that isn't on TV but somehow feels more dramatic than anything Netflix could ever greenlight. This DNA bombshell didn't just shake the table. It ripped the legs off, flipped it, set it on fire, and launched it into orbit. And trust me, if this is what leaks look like now, the next chapter is going to hit harder than a plot twist in a K-drama. So before you run off to the comments to argue with strangers who think they're licensed detectives, do me one quick favor and smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe the same way Karlissa hits the post button with zero hesitation and maximum impact. And turn on notifications because the next scandal could drop any second. And I promise you do not want to be the last person at the digital dinner table to know what happened. Drop a comment and tell me whose side you're on, what theory you believe, and what twist you think is coming next. I read them all, even the messy ones. Especially the messy ones. This channel lives on chaos, thrives on controversy, and survives on scandals that make the Kardashians look like background characters. And remember, this is Celeb Sync, where the drama never sleeps, the receipts never rest, and the truth always shows up wearing heels and carrying screenshots.